So, you want to know about Barry White, huh? Forget the city of Escondido or winning an election. You just want me to scoop the dirt. So here I am, ready to do it. As you may have heard in my previous videos, I was married to the road manager for Barry White not long, and uh, I was 30 years younger than he was, and he used to dangle me in front of his old man friends and try to show off because their wives were like in their 50s, and when I entered the room, they hated my guts from the get-go because I was young, and Barry took Sterling aside and said, "You don't want to be involved with a young girl. They're just after your money." And he said, "She has never asked me for a dime." Of course not, because he wouldn't have given it to me. And truthfully, he was stealing my money that I made by working in temp agencies. While he went out to the mailbox and pulled out an ASCAP, a royalty check for $45,000. And the money would be gone in 3 days. So he'd steal my money out of my purse. And what a joke. Barry thought I was using him for money. So, what money? So, and we were in Vegas, and Sterling wanted to ask him if he could help us get a room at the Frontier because there weren't many rooms left because it was a Legionnaires convention going on the strip and the rooms were taken. So he calls up there, and just like the Tom Jones thing, if you saw my last video, he's gonna go up and talk to Barry, and he's calling him and asking him to get a room. I'm thinking, oh sure, of course he is. Yeah, right. Okay, we'll end up sleeping in the car probably. So he calls him and he says, yeah, he told me to call him back in 10 minutes. So we go to the buffet and eat, and then he calls him back. He says, yeah, he says, come right up. And I thought, oh, sure, we're really going to see Barry. We'll see someone else that's up there with him, you know, something like that, and he'll be in the bedroom, but we're not going to meet Barry White. So we get in this beautiful gold elevator and start heading up to the penthouse, and Sterling is telling me, you know, from the backwoods how to act around celebrities and how celebrities just want you to act natural. And I'm going, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. So we get up there, and there's these two white doors outside the elevator. So my dog's going nuts for flies. That's her favorite hobby. So we go to the doors and knock, and this beautiful woman named Claudine answers the door. She is a black woman, like a page boy wig and a emerald green, sort of a slip dress on and high heels. That was Barry's wife, and she kind of has a reserved demeanor, not real friendly. So we follow her along this marble pathway to get to the main room, and I remember coming around the corner thinking, I'm going to see him. I'm going to see him. I'm really going to see him. And there he is on the edge of the couch. It looked like he had just gotten out of the shower because all of his hair was brushed back, and he had on this striped silk robe, and he looked at me with effing daggers. He looked at me with these little hawk eyes, although I was kind of used to it by that point because all of their friends, the whole Barry White team, the lighting manager and his wife and the general manager and his wife had already given me that look when I met him, so I was kind of used to it. And So he just very kind of quietly said hello, not trusting, and Sterling falls all over himself. I mean, he is about to trip on his tongue. Oh, Barry, oh, could you help us get a room? Oh, Barry, oh, Bubba. I mean, totally made a fool out of himself. Nice, pretty natural, said hello. And he says, yeah, go downstairs and call me later. So we go downstairs and we ended up, I think this was the time when we ended up in a room at the Frontier, a couple floors down. And like that night, I think it was, we were all sitting together in very sweet. And so Sterling goes out of the room and comes in. They used to call me Mindy, although my name is Melinda. Now, I don't care for Mindy. That's a little kid's name. He goes, Mindy, get in there and wash my socks. And I just looked at him horrified. I've never dreamed of doing anything like that. And he says, why are you looking at me like that? And I said, because I'm not going to wash your socks. He said, you're acting like a kid. And Barry pipes up and says, I know a lot of 40-year-old women that don't want to touch your dirty old socks, Sterling. Hilarious. The deadpan face, hilarious. And that's when I knew he was going to be on my side. And most of the guys that knew Sterling were, because I could see he treated me like a dog, and I was so guileless and naive, I really didn't figure it out for a long time. And so we did get back to Hollywood, and we're driving around, and Sterling says, oh, I talked to Barry. And I said, you did? He says, yeah, first he thought the age difference made him kind of sick. It was creepy. But after seeing us together, he thinks there is some kind of chemistry there, and he just wants you to know he's cool with it. So I guess I won him over. It's the best I could do, really. And I have a friend I talk to, and he says, I wish things were the way they used to be. He says it almost every time I see him. He says, I wish things were the way they used to be. And I do too. I remember being young and beautiful and hopeful. There was a future. When you're young, you always think, well, there's a possibility things will get better, and it's not always going to be this way, and who knows what could happen in the future. You could become rich, you could become famous, you could meet a fantastic partner. There's hope. And then you get older, and all of a sudden you're looking back on all of that, and I miss it. I miss being in Hollywood. It just waking up every day with something new and exciting going on. But I was in a relationship where I was brutalized, especially when I started to get somewhere in my career. And there was an actress named Dorothy Stratton that was shot in the face by her estranged husband. And I started to think, if I don't get out of here, that's going to happen to me. And so, yeah, I can't have regrets. I can't second guess myself. I needed to get out of there. And really, once you get a certain age, I'm 66, and there isn't a lot of joy left. But also, you're kind of in a situation where there isn't a lot to lose at this point. So you kind of live dangerously. And I guess that's all I have to say. I hope you're cooler than I am. It's And in the 90s, and the reason I keep blinking is I'm sweating so hard it's coming into my eyes. But keep the faith and move toward God, and you will find comfort. Thank you for listening, and hope you liked the story. I always thought it was kind of funny.